Hi everyone, today is April the 12th, 2011. I'm Ethan Crane, and this is my response video to your comments left on my last video, Charlie Sheen in Cleveland. First of all, I want to say thank you, especially to Ape Kills Snake. He was sort of my Jiminy Cricket. There actually was a video response up before this one. A little bit of mean-spirited humor from me. It was late, it was after a long day at work. I do apologize, Ape Kills Snake. I didn't mean to disappoint you, or anyone really. I'll try to tone that down in this though and make it more of a cerebral response. Alright, so saying that, let's get to your responses. First of all, thank you, everyone who left positive and negative responses. I do appreciate all of your comments, and feel that since you took the time to comment, I should take the time to respond. Resistance for Liberty, thanks for the review, you're welcome. Brender, I agree too. I did love the show. I thought it was much better than I expected, as I've said. Certainly, going into it, I expected a full meltdown from Charlie Sheen, and I didn't get that. I got Inside the Actors Studio, as I mentioned before, blah blah blah. I enjoyed it. And apparently, people in Chicago and Cleveland enjoyed it on the whole. New York, Columbus, not so much. Detroit, certainly not. Maybe it was just lightning in a bottle for both Chicago and Cleveland. Maybe we're just a little weird. Who knows? But yeah, great show. I agree. I want to respond to King14166 and Screamin999. Their two comments sort of complement each other. Screamin999 sort of explains King14166's response, builds upon it. But before I do, I do want to say, King14166, I don't mean to call you out or anything, and certainly I do appreciate your response, but I do have one request. Please, please, please do not post in all caps. People across the internet, on message boards, on YouTube videos, everywhere, chat rooms, we really just don't like it when people post in all caps. It hurts our eyes, it makes it very difficult to read. It sounds like you're screaming over the internet through writing. Please just don't do it. Alright? So, I do appreciate the comment though, by the way. I do have one question though for folks who are in Detroit, and indeed for folks from Columbus and New York who didn't like the show as well. What exactly did you expect from the show? You paid upwards of $70, $80, $90 for tickets. One lady in New York paid $109 for tickets. You watched, no doubt, the news about Charlie Sheen. You heard his catchphrases. You saw videos of him acting supposedly insane. What exactly did you expect from his show? I really just want to know. Because I'm curious. You say he was a disappointment, he talked about crack, he talked about prostitutes and porn stars, and it was just boring and unfunny. Why? What were you thinking when you bought those tickets initially? Were you expecting like a stand-up comedy show? Were you expecting, you know, like illusions? Were you expecting him to make a tomato winning salad like you did in that one YouTube video? What exactly were you expecting? I'm really just curious. And I would appreciate anyone's comments on that. I would like that illuminated for me. I also want to mention, sort of in rebuttal to the idea that Charlie Sheen's show was disappointing in New York and Columbus, and especially in Detroit, specifically in Detroit. Initial news sources claimed that people in Detroit were booing Charlie Sheen as soon as he walked out. They were heckling him as soon as he walked out. Would it then be fair to say, perhaps, that maybe the show, though disjointed, I admit I didn't actually see the show from Detroit, so I can't say for sure. I would be curious to see it, certainly, just to see how different it was, but wouldn't it be fair to say that perhaps the people from Detroit just didn't give the show a chance? Maybe they went in there with certain expectations. Maybe they went in there with a chip on their shoulder, and maybe they sort of had a hand in making it not so good. Because all acting is sort of a two-way street. There's a certain chemistry between the audience and the performer on stage. This is something that most actors take for granted, most actors know naturally. And so I do have to wonder how much of the suckage was on the part of the audience. Now that said, maybe Detroit, and I'll play devil's advocate, did not boo Charlie Sheen as soon as he walked out. Maybe that was undue sensationalism on the media's part. I do find it ironic in that case that the media would victimize both Detroit and Charlie Sheen with its sensationalism. But, you know, I'm not so sure that's the case. So I'm just sort of throwing that out there, asking, what's up, Detroit? Alright, so that takes care of that. I already kind of responded to Cream of the Reich's statement when I said, you know, what were you guys expecting from Charlie Sheen's show, which he kind of asks himself. Then he mentions Detroit, Cleveland, pick any one of them, both cesspools. Alright, this may shock you because I myself am from Cleveland, but I don't disagree with you. Cleveland has seen better days, and that's probably the understatement of the year. But as a Clevelander, I can at least say that Cleveland has one main export, and that is unrealistic hope. Cleveland is the can't-do city with a can-do attitude. Our sports teams will likely not win championships anytime soon. Heck, when the Browns, our football team, win like 5 games in a season, we consider it a great season for them. That said,